Commander G1 Park floated through the control room of Neptune Station, her magnetic boots clicking softly against the metal floor. The deep space listening post had been her home for 3 years now, spinning slowly in the darkness beyond. Neptune's blue glow. Most people thought her job was boring. They were wrong. Today felt different. Something in the air made her skin crawl, though she could not say what. The station's computers hummed their usual tune, processing signals from across the galaxy. Most of it was just noise, old radio waves from dead stars, cosmic radiation, the normal chatter of space. "Commander," called Dr. Minho Kim from his workstation. His voice carried that excitement she had learned to recognize. Minho was the best signal analyst in the Human Defense Force, and when he got excited, it usually meant trouble. Jiwan pushed off from the wall and drifted over to his station. Multiple screens showed wave patterns dancing like colorful snakes. "What do you have, Minho?" "Something strange." He pointed at the largest screen. "This signal started about 20 minutes ago. It's not like anything in our databases." Jiwan studied the patterns. They looked almost organized, like they had purpose. "Could be a pulsar we haven't mapped yet." "That's what I thought too." Minho shook his head. "But look at this." He pressed a few buttons and the display changed. "The signal is encrypted. Natural phenomena don't encrypt themselves." Lieutenant Hiram Lee looked up from her communication console across the room. "Encrypted how? What kind of encryption?" "Quantum-level stuff," Minho said. "Way beyond what we use for military communications. This is advanced, really advanced." Jiwan felt that crawling sensation again. Stronger now. In her 15 years of military service, she had learned to trust her instincts. They had kept her alive during the Mars Colony War and the asteroid belt conflicts. Right now, they were screaming danger. "Can you decode it?" she asked. "I'm trying." Minho's fingers flew over his keyboard. "My linguistic programs are working on it, but it's going to take time. The mathematics alone are incredible." Hiram stood up and walked over to them. She was young but sharp, with an eye for details that impressed even veteran officers. "Where's it coming from?" Minho brought up a star map. A red dot pulsed near the edge of the Kuiper belt. "About 40 AU out, past Pluto." "That's empty space," G1 said. "Nothing should be out there." "That's what makes this interesting." Hiram leaned closer to the screen. "I've been tracking communication satellites in that area for months. There's definitely nothing on our charts." The three of them stared at the display in silence. The implications were starting to sink in. If something was transmitting from empty space, it meant one of two things. Either their maps were wrong or someone had put something there without telling them. "Run a deep scan," G1 ordered. "I want to know what's out there." Hiram nodded and returned to her station. Her fingers danced across the controls as she redirected the station's most powerful sensors toward the signal source. "This might take a few minutes, Commander." G1 turned back to Minho. "How's the decoding coming?" "Getting somewhere." His excitement was growing. The base structure is mathematical, but there are patterns that look like language. Multiple languages, actually. At least 12 different linguistic structures. 12? Jiwan's blood went cold. Humans had never encountered another intelligent species. The idea that 12 different alien languages might be hidden in this signal was both thrilling and terrifying. "Commander." Hiram's voice was sharp with shock. "You need to see this." They rushed to her station. The main display showed a 3-dimensional map of space around the signal source. Where empty darkness should have been, the sensors had found something impossible, a structure, massive, geometric, clearly artificial. It was at least 10 kilometers long and half as wide, shaped like a crystal that someone had stretched and twisted. Worst of all, it was completely invisible to normal sensors. Only their deepest scans could detect it. "That's a cloaking device," Jiwan whispered. "A really good one." "Commander," Minho called out, his voice tight with urgency. "I'm getting partial translations. You need to hear this." The three gathered around his station. Lines of text scrolled across his screen, some in English, others in symbols they had never seen. "Human containment protocol remains effective. Recommend. Continued isolation of Sol system. Recent developments in quantum communication suggest acceleration of timeline. Project isolation has exceeded expectations. Ji-won read the words twice, then a third time. Each reading made them more real and more terrifying. Are you sure about these translations? The computer is 60% confident, Minho said. But the mathematical confidence is higher. These aren't random words. They're part of a structured discussion. Discussion about us, Hiram added quietly. About humans. About containing us. The control room fell silent except for the hum of computers and the distant whisper of air recyclers. The implications were staggering. If these translations were correct, then humanity was not alone in the universe. More than that, they were being watched, studied, contained. Get me more, Ji-won ordered. I need to know everything. Who's talking, what they're planning, and why they think they can contain us. Minho nodded grimly. Already working on it. But Commander, if this is real, if there really is some kind of galactic conspiracy to keep us trapped in our own solar system, then we're in more trouble than we ever imagined, Ji-won finished. Over the next several hours, more pieces of the puzzle fell into place. The signal was definitely a communication stream between multiple parties. The translations became clearer and more detailed. References to the human problem appeared frequently. So did mentions of the 12 and the Council. By the end of their shift, 3 things had become clear. First, humanity was being monitored by at least 12 different alien species. Second, these species were organized into some kind of governing council. Third, this council had been actively working to prevent human expansion beyond the Sol system. As Ji-won stared out at the stars through the station's main viewport, she realized that everything humanity thought they knew about their place in the universe was wrong. They were not alone exploring an empty galaxy. They were prisoners trapped in a cage they didn't even know existed. The question now was what to do about it. Commander, Minho said softly. There's something else. The transmission is scheduled to end in 6 days. Whatever they're discussing, they're planning to reach a decision soon. Ji-won closed her eyes. 6 days to figure out how to save their species from a threat they had never even suspected existed. It wasn't much time, but it would have to be. Enough. The war for humanity's future had just begun, and Earth didn't even know it was fighting. Dr. Soo-hyun Cho had always loved digging through old files, but today felt different. The request from Neptune Station had been marked with the highest security codes she had ever seen. Find connections between historical events and possible alien interference. The idea sounded crazy until she started looking at the data. Her office at the Seoul Historical Research Center was quiet, except for the soft hum of quantum processors working through thousands of years of human records. Coffee had gone cold hours ago, but she was too focused to care. The patterns were becoming clear and they were terrifying. Computer, display timeline correlation analysis, she said. The holographic display filled with dates and events spanning human history. Red markers indicated major setbacks in human technological development. Blue markers showed the alien communication patterns that Minho had decoded from Neptune Station. The correlation was impossible to ignore. Every time humans had been on the verge of a major breakthrough, something had gone wrong. The library of Alexandria burned just when Greek mathematicians were approaching advanced geometry. The Dark Ages began right after Roman engineers started experimenting with steam power. Medieval alchemists who came close to understanding atomic theory mysteriously disappeared. More recently, the pattern continued. Nuclear physicists in the 1940s who theorized about faster-than-light travel died in accidents. Computer scientists in the 1980s working on quantum processing lost their funding or suffered mental breakdowns. Space engineers in the 2200s developing advanced propulsion systems experienced equipment failures that set the programs back decades. This can't be coincidence, Soo-hyun whispered to herself. Her secure communication line chimed. Captain Dong-hyun Yoon appeared on her screen, calling from his military intelligence office in Busan. His face was grim. Dr. Cho, I've been investigating those recent accidents you flagged, the ones involving quantum research facilities. What did you find? Nothing good, Dongyun shared his screen with her. It showed a list of names, dates, and incident reports. 15 top researchers in quantum mechanics, all dead or disappeared in the last 5 years. The official reports blame equipment malfunctions, lab accidents, even suicide. But I've found security footage that tells a different story. The video he showed made Soo-hyun's blood run cold. Dr. Namjoon Park, one of Korea's leading quantum physicists, was working, alone in his lab late at night. The timestamp showed it was just hours before his official death in a chemical explosion. But on the security feed, something else was happening. The air near Dr. Park shimmered, like heat waves rising from hot pavement. Then a figure appeared, out of nowhere. It looked human but moved wrong, too fluid, too perfect. The figure approached the unsuspecting scientist and placed a hand on his shoulder. Dr. Park stopped working and stood up slowly, his movements mechanical and unnatural. He walked to a chemical storage unit and began mixing compounds that would create a violent explosion. His face was blank, like he was sleepwalking. Holographic infiltrator, Donghyun explained. Combined with some kind of mind control technology, the explosion happened exactly 37 minutes after this footage, destroying all evidence of advanced quantum research. Soo-hyun felt sick. How many others? All 15 followed similar patterns. Someone or something has been systematically eliminating human scientists who get too close to breakthrough technologies. The secure line chimed again. Commander Ji-won appeared in a small window on their shared display. Dr. Cho, Captain Yoon, we've made significant progress on the alien transmissions. You need to see this immediately. New text scrolled across the display, showing the latest translations from the hidden alien meeting. Species classification, human. Category 5, emerging threat. Unprecedented combination of adaptability and technological intuition. Recommendation, eliminate before breakthrough threshold is achieved. Council member Vexhai argues for continued containment. Council member Thaisara insists on immediate termination. The humans have developed quantum communication 847 cycles ahead of projected timeline. Soo-hyun stared at the words in horror. Category 5 emerging threat? What does that mean? Ji-won's voice was tight with controlled fear. According to our analysis, it's the highest threat classification they have. Out of thousands of species they've cataloged, only humans have ever received this rating. Why? Donghyun asked. What makes us so dangerous? More translations appeared on screen. Unique. Neuroplasticity allows rapid adaptation to new concepts. Aggressive expansion instincts exceed all known parameters. Creative problem-solving abilities pose existential threat to established order. If humans achieve unrestricted space travel, galactic civilization as we know it will cease to exist. Soo-hyun began to understand. They're not afraid of our weapons or our technology. They're afraid of who we are, the way we think. It gets worse, Ji-won continued. We've identified 12 distinct alien voices in these transmissions. They call themselves the Galactic Council, and they've been managing what they call emerging civilizations for millions of years. The display showed a complex organizational chart. 12 alien species formed the core council, with dozens of other species listed as client states and managed territories. It's a hierarchy, Donghyun realized. They're running the galaxy like a corporation with themselves at the top and everyone else serving their interests. And humans threaten that system, Soo-hyun added. We don't follow rules. We don't accept limitations. If we got out into the galaxy, we'd inspire other species to rebel. New intelligence appeared on their screens, decoded from the alien discussions. The Galactic Council had protocols for dealing with emerging species. Most were allowed to develop under careful guidance, eventually joining the galactic community as junior members. Some were contained indefinitely on their home worlds. A few were eliminated entirely. We're the first species they've ever classified as too dangerous to manage, Ji-won explained. According to their records, every other species either accepted their place in the hierarchy or was destroyed. No one has ever broken free. The scope of the conspiracy was staggering. For thousands of years, the Council had been manipulating human development. They had agents throughout human history, using advanced technology to appear human while guiding events from behind the scenes. Major wars, plagues, and disasters had been carefully orchestrated to prevent humanity from advancing too quickly. The Council wanted humans to develop slowly, in ways they could control and predict. But human nature kept surprising them. "Look at this," Soo-hyun said, pulling up more historical data. "Every time they tried to set us back, we bounced back faster than they expected. The burning of Alexandria led to the Renaissance. The Dark Ages led to the scientific revolution. Each setback made us more determined to progress. That's what scares them," Dong-hyun observed. "We get stronger under pressure. Most species slow down when faced with obstacles. We speed up." The alien transmissions revealed growing panic among the Council members. Human development in quantum physics had accelerated dramatically in recent years. Despite their interference, scientists like Dr. Park had been eliminated, but others immediately took their place, often making even faster progress. "They've been playing a game of whack-a-mole," Jawan said. "But there are too many of us and we share information too quickly. Every time they stop one breakthrough, 3 others emerge somewhere else." The most chilling revelation came from the Council's internal debates. They had spent centuries believing they could control human development indefinitely, but recent advances in quantum communication and space propulsion had changed their assessment. Council estimates indicate humans will achieve unrestricted galactic travel within 15-20 cycles, the translations revealed. Current containment measures will become ineffective. "How long is a cycle?" Soo-hyun asked. "Based on the mathematical patterns, approximately 1 Earth year," Jiwon replied. "They think we'll break free of the solar system within 2 decades, whether they interfere or not." The realization hit all 3 of them simultaneously. The Council was running out of time and patience. If they couldn't contain humanity much longer, they would have to choose between accepting human expansion or destroying Earth entirely. "There's more," Jiwon continued. "They're scheduling a final vote. 5 days from now, the Council will decide humanity's fate once and for all. The options are enhanced containment, forced integration under their control, or complete elimination." Soo-hyun felt the weight of the galaxy pressing down on her shoulders. In 5 days, 12 alien species would decide whether humanity lived or died, and Earth didn't even know the meeting was happening. "We have to warn people," she said. "With what proof?" Dong-hyun asked. "Intercepted alien transmissions that most people won't believe? Historical correlations that could be explained as coincidence? Then what do we do?" Jiwon was quiet for a moment, then spoke with grim determination. "We find a way to crash their party." Admiral Soo-young-han stood in the secure briefing room deep beneath Seoul, surrounded by screens showing data that would change everything. The past 48 hours had brought revelations that challenged everything humanity believed about their place in the universe. Now she had to decide what to do about it. "Show me the technical analysis again," she ordered. Dr. Ki-won-jung, the theoretical physicist who had been secretly developing humanity's most advanced propulsion system, activated his presentation. The room filled with holographic displays showing quantum field equations and engineering schematics. "The alien technology we've observed through their communications is at least 500 years ahead of ours in most areas," Ki-won explained. "But there's something strange about their development pattern." He highlighted several sections of the alien technical discussions that Neptune Station had intercepted. "Look at their propulsion systems. They're using something they call controlled dimensional folding to achieve faster-than-light travel. It's elegant, efficient, and requires massive infrastructure to support." "What's strange about that?" asked General Taewon Lim from his position at the conference table. "It's a dead end," Kaiwan replied. "Their entire galactic civilization is built around this one transportation method. They've invested millions of years in developing the infrastructure, but my quantum tunneling drive achieves the same results using completely different principles." Admiral Han studied the equations floating in the air before her. "Explain it in simple terms." "Their ships need to follow predetermined routes through space using stations and relay points they've built over millennia. It's like a galactic highway system. But my drive creates temporary tunnels through quantum space. A human ship could travel anywhere instantly, without needing their infrastructure at all. The implications were staggering. If Dr. Young's research was correct, humanity was about to leapfrog over millions of years of galactic development. No wonder the Galactic Council was terrified. There's more, Kiwan continued. I've been analyzing their debates about human technological development. They keep mentioning something called the innovation paradox. New alien text appeared on the screens, translated from the latest intercepted communications. Human species demonstrates unprecedented rate of conceptual breakthrough. Typical. Emerging species requires 12,000, 15,000 cycles to develop quantum manipulation. Humans achieved basic quantum theory in less than 2,000 cycles. The current trajectory suggests full quantum mastery within 50 cycles. This violates all established models of technological development. Dr. Soo-Hyun Cho, participating via secure link from her research facility, added context to the translations. I've been comparing human development to their records of other species. The pattern is clear. We're not just faster than other civilizations, we're impossibly faster. She shared her analysis with the room. Charts showed the technological development curves of dozens of alien species, all following similar gradual progressions over tens of thousands of years. Then there was humanity's curve, shooting upward at an angle that made the others look almost flat. According to their models, Soo-Hyun continued, it should take a species at least 50,000 years to develop from basic tool use to space travel. We did it in less than 10,000. It should take another 100,000 years to achieve quantum manipulation. We're doing it in less than 300. Why are we so different? General Lim asked. Captain Dong-Hyun Yoon, monitoring from his intelligence post, provided an answer based on the alien discussions. They think it's because of something they call survival pressure adaptation. Most species develop on worlds with stable environments. They have time to evolve slowly and carefully. But Earth has been trying to kill us since we first stood upright, Admiral Han realized. Ice ages, volcanic eruptions, meteor impacts, plagues. We've been in survival mode for our entire evolutionary history. Exactly, Kiwan agreed. The aliens think this constant pressure created a species that innovates instinctively. When faced with a problem, we don't just adapt to it. We find ways to solve it completely. More alien communications revealed the depth of their concern. Human problem-solving methodology bypasses standard logical constraints. Multiple simultaneous approaches to identical challenges produce rapid breakthrough synthesis. Human creativity factor exceeds all known parameters. Recommend immediate study of human neural architecture before elimination. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity wasn't just developing faster than expected. They were developing in ways that the galactic civilization couldn't understand or predict. Show them the quantum drive prototype. Admiral. Han ordered. Kiwan activated another display, showing a sleek device about the size of a briefcase. This is 3 months of work based on principles I discovered while studying cosmic background radiation. According to their timeline, it should have taken me 300 years to develop this level of technology. Does it work? Small scale? Yes. I've successfully opened quantum tunnels large enough to transport single atoms across interstellar distances. With enough power and the right containment field, I could scale it up to transport a spacecraft anywhere in the galaxy instantly. The alien communications had revealed why this was so threatening. Their entire civilization was built around controlling space travel. The Galactic Council maintained order by deciding which species could travel where and when. If humans could move freely through space without using their infrastructure, the entire system would collapse. It gets worse from their perspective, Dr. Cho added. I've been analyzing their social structure. The Galactic Council isn't just a government, it's a carefully balanced ecosystem that's remained stable for millions of years. She explained what she had learned from the intercepted discussions. The 12 council species each controlled specific aspects of galactic civilization. Some managed resource distribution, others controlled information flow, a few specialized in conflict resolution. Every species in the galaxy has a defined role, she continued. The system works because everyone accepts their place and follows established procedures. But humans don't follow procedures. We improvise. General Lim leaned forward. You're saying we'd accidentally destroy their entire civilization just by being ourselves? Not accidentally, Admiral Han corrected. Inevitably. The latest alien communications confirmed their fears. Human nature itself was incompatible with the Galactic Order. Human expansion patterns indicate territorial acquisition rather than integration. The species demonstrates aggressive colonization instincts absent in civilized races. Preliminary models suggest human presence would destabilize established trade relationships within 200 cycles. Recommendation: treat as invasive. Species requiring immediate containment or elimination. Dr. Jung brought up another disturbing revelation. They've been studying us longer than we realized. Some of these communications reference observational data going back over 1,000 years. They've been watching us, learning about us, and planning for this moment since before we invented gunpowder. The scope of the surveillance was incredible. The aliens had detailed psychological profiles of human behavior, accurate predictions of technological development, and comprehensive strategies for managing or eliminating the species. But despite all their preparation, humanity had still surprised them. The quantum drive breakthrough had occurred centuries ahead of their predictions. Human space exploration was expanding faster than their containment protocols could manage. Worst of all, humans were beginning to ask questions about inconsistencies in their understanding of the universe. They're losing control, Admiral Han realized. That's why they're calling an emergency vote. The alien debate had revealed 3 factions within the Council. The Eliminators wanted to destroy humanity immediately, before they could develop further. The Containers wanted to implement stronger suppression measures, possibly including direct military intervention. The Integrators believed humanity could be forcibly incorporated into galactic society under strict supervision. What they don't seem to have considered, Captain Yoon observed, is the 4th option, which is that we might not give them a choice in the matter. Admiral Han studied the data one more time. Humanity was outnumbered by 12 advanced civilizations with millions of years of technological advantage. They controlled weapons that could destroy entire star systems and had been manipulating human development for centuries. But they had also made a critical error. They had assumed that humanity would react to the situation like every other species they had encountered. They expected fear, submission, or at most futile resistance. They had never dealt with a species that responded to existential threats by getting angry and fighting back harder. Dr. Jung, Admiral Han said finally, how quickly can you scale up your quantum drive? With unlimited resources and no safety testing? Maybe 2 weeks. General Lim, how fast can we mobilize our deep space fleet? If we skip normal protocols and call up reserves? 72 hours. Admiral Han nodded grimly. The Galactic Council would hold their vote in 3 days to decide humanity's fate. But they were about to learn that some species don't wait politely for their execution. Some species vote back. President Hyung-an had faced many difficult decisions during her time in office, but nothing had prepared her for this. The emergency briefing room beneath the Blue House was filled with Earth's top military and scientific leaders, all staring at displays that showed humanity's impending doom. Let me make sure I understand this correctly, she said, her voice steady, despite the magnitude of what she had learned. 12 alien species have been secretly controlling human development. For thousands of years, and in less than 48 hours, they will vote on whether to destroy our entire planet. That's correct, Madam President, Admiral Han confirmed. The Galactic Council's final vote is scheduled for what we calculate to be tomorrow at 14:30 Seoul time. President An looked around the room at the assembled faces. These were people she had worked with for years, trusted advisors who had guided humanity through previous crises, but nothing in their experience had prepared them for this. What are our options? General Taewon Lim stepped forward with a tactical display. We've identified 3 possible approaches, none of them good. First, we can attempt to hide our knowledge and hope the Council chooses containment over elimination. The display showed Earth's current defenses, orbital weapons platforms, lunar missile bases, the Mars defense grid, all impressive by human standards but pathetic compared to what the aliens possessed. What are the odds of that working? Based on the intercepted communications, less than 15%, Dr. Cho replied from her remote connection. The Eliminators. Faction seems to be winning the debate. They're convinced that humans can't be safely contained much longer. Second option, General Lim continued. We reveal everything to the public and prepare for war. This display showed global mobilization scenarios. Every human military asset deployed, emergency weapon production, civilian evacuation plans. The numbers were staggering, but still insufficient. How do we fight ships that can destroy planets? President An asked. We can't, Admiral Han admitted. But we might be able to make the cost of eliminating us higher than they're willing to pay. The aliens have spent millions of years building their civilization. If we can threaten their infrastructure, they might negotiate. Dr. Jung spoke up from his research station. That brings us to option 3. We use my quantum drive technology to take the fight directly to them. The president studied the young physicist. Explain. The prototype is working. With the resources Admiral Han has provided, I can have a functional faster-than-light drive ready in 18 hours. We could load it onto one of our deep space vessels and reach the alien meeting location. And then what? One ship against 12 civilizations? One ship carrying something they've never seen before, Jung replied. My drive doesn't just move through space faster than light. It manipulates quantum dimensions. With enough power, I could open a tunnel large enough to transport their entire station into a star. The room fell silent. The implications were terrifying and thrilling at the same time. Humanity's first contact with alien life might also be humanity's first act of interstellar warfare. There's a fourth option, President An said quietly. We could try to negotiate. With respect, Madam President, Captain Yoon interjected. They've already made their position clear. They see us as an existential threat to their way of life. There's no compromise position between existence and extinction. New intelligence flowed in from Neptune Station, where Commander Park and her team were monitoring the alien discussions in real time. The latest translations made the situation even more urgent. Human quantum communication capabilities detected in Sol 3 orbital platforms, possibility of human awareness of council deliberations now estimated at 73%, recommend, acceleration of timeline regardless of vote outcome. Exterminator Fleet Gamma has been positioned for immediate deployment. President An felt ice in her veins. They know we're listening. Gets worse, Admiral Han said grimly. Our analysis suggests they've had weapons positioned in our solar system for decades. Hidden stations, automated systems, probably planet-killer devices we haven't detected yet. The strategic displays updated to show the estimated locations of alien assets. Mars had several suspicious objects in orbit that didn't match any human technology. The asteroid belt contained structures that might be camouflaged weapon platforms. Even Earth's moon showed anomalous readings that could indicate hidden facilities. They've been prepared to eliminate us for years, General Lim realized. The vote isn't about whether to deploy these weapons. It's about whether to use them immediately or wait a little longer. Dr. Cho's voice carried new urgency. I'm seeing references to something called the sterilization protocol in the latest intercepts. It appears to be a comprehensive plan for removing all traces of human civilization from the galaxy. The display showed chilling details. The aliens hadn't just planned to destroy humanity. They intended to erase all evidence that humans had ever existed. Historical records would be altered. Physical artifacts would be eliminated. Even the genetic traces of human influence on Earth's ecosystem would be systematically removed. Why go to such extremes? President An asked. Because they're terrified, Dr. Jung replied. Not just of what we are now, but of what we represent. If other species learn that a civilization like ours is possible, it could inspire galaxy-wide revolution. The alien communications revealed the depth of their fear. Humanity wasn't just a threat to their power structure. They were living proof that the entire galactic order was built on a lie. For millions of years, the Council had told other species that slow, careful development under guidance was the only safe path to advancement. Humans had proven that rapid, independent progress was not only possible but superior. They can't let us survive, Admiral Han concluded. Because our existence proves they've been holding back the entire galaxy. President An absorbed this information, weighing options that could determine the survival of her species. Every choice carried enormous risks, but doing nothing guaranteed extinction. How many people know about this? Outside this room? Maybe 50 worldwide, Admiral Han replied. All with maximum security clearances. If we go public, what happens? Panic, General Lim said bluntly. Global economic collapse, social breakdown, probably widespread riots and looting. Most people won't be able to process the idea that we're about to be eliminated by aliens they never knew existed. But some will fight, President An observed. Yes, probably billions of them. The president walked to the window overlooking Seoul. The city stretched out below her, millions of people going about their daily lives with no idea that their existence hung in the balance. In less than 2 days, those lights might be extinguished, forever. There's something else to consider, Dr. Jung said hesitantly. The quantum drive technology isn't just a weapon, it's a key to the entire galaxy. If we can make it work on a large scale, humans could spread across the stars faster than the Council could possibly contain us. Assuming we survive the next 48 hours. Yes, assuming that. President An turned back to face the room. These people were looking to her for leadership in humanity's darkest hour. The decision she made in the next few minutes would echo through history, assuming there was anyone left to remember it. Admiral Han, I want every available ship equipped with Dr. Jung's quantum drive technology, even if they're just prototypes. General Lim, begin quiet mobilization of all military assets, but don't create public panic. Dr. Jung, you have whatever resources you need to make this work. And the public? Admiral Han asked. President An was quiet for a long moment. We tell them the truth, all of it. They deserve to know what's happening, and they deserve the chance to fight for their survival. That will cause chaos. Maybe. But hiding the truth and hoping for the best will definitely cause extinction. At least this way, we go down fighting. She looked around the room one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, we have less than 40 hours to save our species. The aliens think they're dealing with just another primitive civilization that will accept its fate quietly. They're about to learn that humans don't go quietly anywhere. General Lim smiled grimly. What are your orders, Madam President? Simple, she replied. We're going to introduce ourselves to the Galactic Council, and we're going to make sure they never forget the meeting. Commander Jiwon Park watched the final preparations from the bridge of the UES Defiance, humanity's newest and most advanced spacecraft. In the past 36 hours, the ship had been transformed from a deep space exploration vessel into something unprecedented, the first human starship capable of faster-than-light travel. Quantum drive status? She asked. Dr. Kiwan Jung looked up from his control console, exhaustion clear on his face. 97% ready. The field generators are calibrated, power systems are stable, and the navigation computer is loaded with the alien station's coordinates. Around them, the bridge crew worked with focused intensity. These men and women had volunteered for what everyone understood might be a one-way mission. But they had also volunteered for something else. The chance to ensure humanity's survival. Signal from Earth Control, reported Lieutenant Hiram Lee from her communication station. President An's face appeared on the main screen, broadcasting from the emergency command center beneath Seoul. Behind her, displays showed the global response to humanity's first official acknowledgement of alien life. The revelation had indeed caused chaos, but not the kind anyone had expected. Commander Park, the president said, the global response has exceeded all projections. Instead of panic, we're seeing mobilization. Military recruitment centers are overwhelmed with volunteers. Scientists worldwide are sharing research freely. Even civilian space programs are offering their resources. The reports were incredible. In less than 24 hours, humanity had united in a way never seen before. Ancient enemies were sharing intelligence. Competing nations were pooling technology. Religious and cultural differences were being set aside in the face of extinction. It seems the prospect of annihilation brings out the best in us, President An continued. You have the full support of every human being on Earth, Commander. Make us proud. The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in focused silence. Through the viewports, they could see other ships taking position around them. The hastily assembled First Contact fleet consisted of 12 vessels, each equipped with prototype quantum drives and carrying humanity's most advanced weapons. It wasn't much compared to the alien forces they were about to face, but it was built with something the Galactic Council had never encountered: pure human stubbornness. Receiving final intelligence update from Neptune Station, Hyerim announced. Dr. Minho Kim's voice filled the bridge, transmitted from the listening post that had started this entire crisis. The alien debate has concluded. The vote was close, but the Eliminators won. They're implementing the sterilization protocol in approximately 6 hours. Commander Park felt the familiar ice of combat settle in her stomach. What's their timeline? Hidden. Weapon platforms throughout the Sol system will activate simultaneously. Earth-directed asteroids will be nudged toward collision courses. The sun's corona will be destabilized to create massive solar flares. They're planning to make it look like a series of natural disasters. How long do we have? Their lead ship is moving into position now. Once it reaches the designated coordinates, the attack begins automatically. Based on its current speed, we have maybe 4 hours. The bridge fell silent. 4 hours to save humanity from extinction. It seemed impossible, but then again, humanity specialized in impossible things. Dr. Young, Commander Park said, initiate quantum drive sequence. Quantum field generators online. Young reported. Navigation locked onto alien station coordinates. Ready for dimensional transition on your command. Park looked around her bridge one last time. These people had families back on Earth, lives they might never see again. But they had also chosen to stand between their species and destruction. All ships, this is Defiance Actual, she broadcast to the fleet. Execute Protocol Humanity. Space around the human ships began to shimmer and bend. The quantum drives tore holes in reality itself, opening tunnels through dimensions that the aliens had never imagined. In an instant, 12 human vessels vanished from Earth orbit and reappeared in the Kuiper Belt, surrounding the massive alien station. The effect on the Galactic Council was immediate and profound. Emergency broadcasts filled their communication channels as sensors detected the impossible. Primitive ships using technology that shouldn't exist, appearing without warning in their most secure meeting space. Open a channel to the alien station, Park ordered. Channel open, Commander. Park stood and faced the main display, knowing that 12 alien civilizations were about to get their first real look at humanity. She had thought carefully about what to say in this moment, and the words she had chosen were simple and direct. Galactic Council. This is Commander Jiwon Park of the United Earthship Defiance, representing the human species. We received your transmission discussing our extinction. We decline. The response was immediate chaos. Alien voices filled the communication channels, speaking in languages the translation computers could barely keep up with. Fear, anger, and confusion mixed together as the Council realized their secret meeting was no longer secret. Humans of the vessel Defiance came, a translated voice, cold and authoritative. You have committed an act of aggression against the lawful authority of the Galactic Council. Withdraw immediately, or face the consequences. The only consequences we're here to discuss, Park replied, are the ones you'll face if you proceed with your sterilization protocol. Dr. Young's hands flew over his controls as the alien station began powering weapon systems. Commander, they're charging some kind of energy weapon. It's massive. How massive? Big enough to vaporize our entire fleet. Park smiled grimly. This was exactly what she had hoped for. Dr. Young, activate the Revelation Protocol. Across the solar system, human communication arrays that had been secretly modified over the past 36 hours suddenly came online. The conversation between humanity and the Galactic Council was now being broadcast on every frequency, in every direction, reaching every inhabited world within 100 light years. What are you doing? The alien voice demanded. We're introducing ourselves to your neighbors, Park replied. For millions of years, you've told them that slow, careful development under your guidance is the only safe path to advancement. We're here to prove that's a lie. The human fleet began transmitting everything they had learned about the Galactic Council's manipulation of emerging civilizations. Technical specifications for the quantum drive were included, along with detailed instructions for any species that wanted to build their own version. "You're making a mistake," the alien voice warned. "The galaxy requires order, stability. Without the Council's guidance, civilizations destroy themselves." "Maybe," Park admitted. "But that should be their choice to make, not yours." Reports began flooding in from across the galaxy. The human broadcast was being received by hundreds of worlds, many of them home to species that had been suppressed or contained by the Council for millennia. The revelation that rapid technological advancement was possible was spreading like wildfire. "You're destroying everything we've built," the alien voice said, and for the first time, it sounded afraid. "No," Park corrected. "We're giving everyone else the chance to build something better." Dr. Young looked up from his console with excitement. "Commander, I'm detecting quantum drive signatures from 17 different star systems. Other species are already experimenting with the technology." The alien station's weapons powered down as the full scope of what was happening became clear. The Galactic Council could destroy the human fleet, but they couldn't stop the information that was already spreading across the galaxy. Their carefully maintained order was collapsing in real time. "What do you want?" the alien voice asked finally. "Simple," Park replied. "Cancel the sterilization protocol, withdraw your hidden weapons from our solar system, and call off your agents who have been manipulating human development. And in return, we'll help you transition to a new kind of galactic civilization, one based on cooperation instead of control. You can join us as equals, or you can try to maintain your authority while the rest of the galaxy leaves you behind." The rain. Silence that followed was the sound of millions of years of established order crumbling. The Galactic Council had never faced a choice like this: adapt or become irrelevant. "The Council requires time to consider your proposal," the alien voice said finally. "You have 24 hours, Park replied. "After that we start visiting your homeworlds personally. I think your populations might be interested in learning about their government's secret policies." As the human fleet prepared to return to Earth, reports continued to arrive from across the galaxy. Species that had accepted their limitations for thousands of years were suddenly questioning everything. Rebellions were breaking out on worlds that had been peaceful for centuries. The quantum drive technology was being improved and distributed, faster than anyone had thought possible. Commander Park looked out at the alien station one last time, then turned to her crew. "Take us home. We have a civilization to build." As the Defiance and its escort vessels disappeared back through quantum space, they left behind a galaxy that would never be the same. The age of the Galactic Council was ending, and the age of human influence was just beginning. But more importantly, they had proven something that would echo through the stars for generations.